Hello and welcome to Hoffmann-Photography. My name is Rainer and today's topic is the rule of thirds versus the golden rule and why it doesn't make much difference to me. I'm pretty sure you've heard about the rule of thirds and the golden rule, but just to make sure that we are talking about the same thing, here's a quick reminder of the rule of thirds and the golden rule. The rule of thirds states that you can divide your image into thirds horizontally and vertically, and that you should place important objects in your image on the intersections of the horizontal and vertical lines. And these intersections are often called power points. Now that's a very simple explanation of the rule of thirds. The golden rule is a bit more complex, and the mathematical definition is this one. If you divide A plus B, that's the complete length of this bar, A plus B, if you divide that by the longer part of the complete bar, that's A, then that should equal A over B. And that's usually called the golden ratio, phi. And the number is about 1.6. But again, don't take this too seriously. What does this mean exactly? Now, instead of dividing our picture into thirds, we divide it a bit differently. Well, 1.6 to 1 is the correct ratio. So those intersection points are a bit closer to the center of the image than when we use the rule of thirds. Again, we do have some power points, and well, you guessed it, the golden rule states that you should place your objects in one of those power points. Let's just compare the rule of thirds and the golden rule, and that's how it turns out. The power points of the golden rule are a bit closer to the center than the power points of the rule of thirds. And that's all the difference there is. So much for the theory. But what about real-world applications? Well, for starters, real subjects are rarely well-defined points like my little circles in those illustrations. Real subjects are more like this one. This vintage tractor is far from being a point. It's, on the contrary, a quite impressive piece of machinery. And it's very hard to say whether this tractor has been placed in the frame according to the rule of thirds or according to the golden rule. So let's overlay the power points. First, for the rule of thirds. So the left lower power point would be here. And well, it could be that it's rather more the golden rule that applies here. But the differences are small, and what we can say is the tractor is placed off center, and for me that's enough. Here is another example. This is a lighthouse of Lindau at Lake Constance, and I have composed this image according to the rule of thirds. The lighthouse itself is placed exactly on the vertical third, and the walkway leading to the lighthouse is placed on the lower horizontal third. Now, as you can see, the main subject isn't just a circle. It's a completely different shape and so on. Now, the next image is composed according to the golden rule. And in this case, the lighthouse itself is somewhat closer to the center line of the image. And the same is true for the walkway that leads to the lighthouse. And well, here is a comparison of the two shots. And well, actually, I think the difference is really, really not important. Your mileage may vary, but I don't think it does make much of a difference. What say you? Does the golden rule make much difference as compared to the rule of thirds? As I've said before, I don't think so. But I do like to place my subject off center. Not always, but quite often. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.